Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the Free-to-Play cast brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. How's the dubbing on that one look when I talk that fast, Jason?
Actually, perfect.
Hey, all right, fantastic. This is episode 307. You're watching it on August 2nd or later. We're recording on August 1st, and we've got some news of the bizarre. That's a rapid-fire round where the news is just kind of weird enough to go, what the fuck? We'll talk about Riders of Icarus leaving Nexon and maybe why that potentially is, and then we'll finish it all off with a first look review of Eden Rising, a game Jason got to play this past week, and we'll see what he thought about it. Why is relevant links in there twice? Let's delete it. Before we get started, though, let's introduce the host, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you?
You know, I gotta wonder if Ninja's getting all this money for moving to to Mixer.
Yeah.
We're the #1 YouTube channel, so shouldn't we be getting a few $1 million as well if we want to go over there?
This is a good thought. That is a good thought. I mean, we are the #1. That's what the staff told us when we when we asked them to do the research. They came back and said #1. Now I haven't checked. We might have slipped to 2.
Yeah, a little bit.
But we could have them look it up. Also on the line, Ms. Quinlan Bowers. What's up, Q?
You know, this whole ninja thing just kind of blew over on my Twitter the minute somebody posted a video of David Tennant kissing a guy. So
yeah, you were totally over Ninja at that point. Didn't care what was going on.
I'm over here.
But I'll tell you what, lost that verified status real quick. Real quick. They were
had to have had that plan.
Oh, they had to have. Yeah,
they're just like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to burn your bridges. I'm sure Ninja took care of it.
This isn't like the Gamigo sale of Tryon, where XL Games had no idea this was coming. I'm sure Twitch knew about this.
Oh, I do have to introduce you two. I didn't even tell either of you two, but this.
Who's this? I felt like he was going down to his crotch. Okay.
This.
Okay, it's a cat.
No. This is Chewy.
It's a dog. Okay, I'll look at the tiny screen. Okay.
Yeah. It's small, so small cat, dog, whatever.
Yeah, this is Chewy. Yeah. New addition to the household here as of like 3 days ago. So he's
down to his crotch and pulled out something.
Hey, let me show you something. All right, let's slide over and get started with the news. Gross. All right, so news of the bizarre. First off, before we start the news of the bizarre, some breaking news that I think we should discuss briefly did come in right before the cast today. Destiny 2 is delaying by 2 weeks its expansion and its free-to-play launch. In a tweet, they said basically it still needs some more time in the oven, and there's some things that they're doing to kind of assuage the players they may have pissed off as far as world firsts and planning of different things goes. So let's just do real quickly Jason's surprise, because I really am not.
No, not really. I mean, it's a big change, and they want to make sure they get it right. And as they said in their blog post, like, now we don't have a publisher. We can set dates however we want and move them if we have to. So, yeah, probably a good move by them to make sure that they're... And it's only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, some headlines, and I told Jason and Q, I told you this before, I was like, there's some headlines out there make it seem like, they're bumping it up a month or back a month because it's supposed to come in September. Now it's coming in October. It was like September 17th to October 1st. It's literally 2 weeks. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. To that point, though, Jason, we don't have a publisher. We can make our own dates. I would also say, great, in the future, make the dates better. Be a little better at making that first date, and then you don't have to. It's kind of just feels a little disingenuous when you're like, oh yeah, we don't have a publisher, so we can delay things now. It's totally okay. No, it's still not totally okay. Be better at making the first date. That's all. When you generate the date is what I'm talking about. Be better at making that first projection date.
2 weeks after 3 months, it was in mid-June. They said it was going to be 3 months. Also, going to be 3.5 months. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm still not surprised by it.
If it was 6 months, then sure, then you're screwing up. But.
I've actually been playing a little more Destiny 2 now, catching back up because I had stopped playing it for quite a while and jumped into Division 2 for a while. So I think yesterday I hit my Hunter. I'm still at like power level 613 or something. So I'm catching up. I'm getting there. Should be there in plenty of time for the first look video when it goes free. Q, no real surprises here. I know you don't care about Destiny 2. But were you surprised by the delay at all, or were you miffed about it, or are you just, hey, you didn't care?
I honestly don't get mad about delays for anything. I get slightly, but I would rather these things be delayed and be done right than just be like, all right, let's just shove it out the door and kill all our developers. And,
Yeah.
And it's still trash at the end of the day. So we just killed a bunch of developers for nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
not only do I want it to be right, but I don't want anybody working 80 hours a week under stringent conditions to make those. Their mental
Only
health.
80?
Yeah, their mental health is by far more important. So there you go. Destiny 2, free-to-play version, going to be delayed 2 weeks. So we'll see you in October for that first look. News of the Bazaar. Let's start off with EA, because EA did some financial reporting. Jason loves this stuff, loves digging into the numbers, and hell, he's already thrown up a number of graphs on Ninja leaving Twitch. So he loves the numbers. So EA put out their performance, and once again, we are greeted with the fact that Apex Legends is just crushing it. And we've already seen once earlier when it came out that it exceeded their expectations, but now all these months later, Jason, it appears to still be exceeding their expectations. That's got to be good news, right?
Yeah, the exact words are that they're bringing Apex Legends is bringing, and other titles are bringing new rich new experiences to our growing communities and delivering operating results significantly above our expectations. Ooh, significantly above expectations. Ooh. Overall, though, he said that Apex is built to have longevity as a live service that will continue to drive engagement over time and outperform our expectations with significant growth in daily and weekly active players, which maybe means that it's still actually growing. We haven't been hearing the whole, we had 10 million people log on today or 200 million people or whatever. We haven't heard those kind of numbers for a while. But the notion that it's dying and Fortnite's getting it all back, maybe not true, but on the other hand, of course, he's always going to say we're growing, we're getting better, everything's going great. So
right.
That's the CEO, Andrew Wilson, by the way, saying all that. So
right. And they're going to be doing their preseason invitational in September. That's going to be in Poland, where 80 teams duke it out for $500,000 in prize money. But Q, that still pales in comparison to the Fortnite World Cup that just showered their winner, who is from the state of Pennsylvania. Go us, with 3 million buckaroos. What was it? The largest single-person prize or something like that, Q?
Yeah, well, I mean, they were just kind of giving out money all over the place anyway, because they had that winner, and then there was like the duo people, and then somebody else walked away with like 900K, and there's a lot of rich teenagers now.
Yep. Yeah, the winner was 16 years old and didn't win by a little bit. Didn't, narrowly squeak out a win. Dominated the
something like
field.
27 kills or something like that.
Yeah,
I think I read.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it was he was way ahead of whoever was. Yeah,
so
it was nuts.
When I saw the headline, the first time I saw the headline was actually on CNN. It wasn't on like a gaming site. It was on CNN's site. I was looking for something else, and right on their homepage. And when they didn't give the name in that initial article, so it was just like a 16-year-old from Pennsylvania. So my daughter was playing Fortnite upstairs, and like I ran upstairs, and I was like, "Is this you? And you lied about your age so that you could participate? Please tell me this was you." So, it was not, obviously. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a cast.
Mike's training the next generation of Fortnite World Champions as we speak.
Right. She's better than I am. She's better than and Jason.
I played with you. That doesn't take much.
Yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And Jason, you see how much she's on. She is on that all the time. Loves it. She's serving a punishment right now, so she won't be on it until the weekend. She's not
cyber-stalking her.
She's not thrilled at me with season 10 coming out or having come out. She is not thrilled at me, but you got to listen to your mother. Back to EA, there was one, at least on our side, being free to play, notable item, and this is where it comes to the news of the Bazaar, missing from every piece of documentation, every call, every presentation. It wasn't even mentioned, and that is Star Wars The Old Republic. And you might say, Mike, it's Star Wars The Old Republic. It's an old game in their stable. It's not, we all know it's not bringing in the type of money that Apex Legends is. Why would they mention it? And Jason, we kind of go, they do have an expansion coming out in a month, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just over a month. Like, I think it's like mid-September or whatever when that thing comes out, the next expansion. And like I said, I went through the press release talking about the results. They have a slideshow, And I mentioned Wilson's prepared remarks. Now, I haven't actually checked like a transcript of the investor call. I think that's different from this other stuff. So maybe it was there that came out. That was going to be after I did all this stuff. But nowhere, and they mention a lot of other games. I mean, they'll say, they even say, we have Star Wars titles. They're going to talk about like Fallen Order, that Respawn one coming out later this year. And they'll talk about everything in The Sims and this, that, and the other thing. But it was not even mentioned once. Not even in the case of, oh, by the way, we make Star Wars Old Republic. Now let's move on to the next thing. It was not mentioned at all.
Yeah, and you think there would have been some type of mention, Q, not only because there's an expansion in about a month or so here, but because they had just done some free-to-play changes, which they're trying to tout up as being very cool in attracting free-to-play players back to the game with the additional hot bars and stuff like that. Still has all the other ridiculous restrictions, like the war zones and the stuff like that, but they opened some of that stuff up. So there has been a lot of Star Wars news lately on new content, making it more accessible for free-to-play players, and we can argue and debate over exactly how much they've done and was it enough, but to not even mention it just seems weird, doesn't it?
I mean, the things that they're trying could just not be working the way they really hoped they would, and they're just, basically like, I don't want to talk about it.
It's the ugly stepchild in the room. We're not gonna talk about it. Oh yeah, that's ours. Yeah, that's ours. So a little weird, but good news for Apex Legends, I'm sure. Moving on in news of the bizarre, this one's really bizarre to me because it's not often that we get to talk about a studio closing without also then talking about whatever game they ran or game they were going to run also then disappearing. Normally a studio doesn't disappear and the game goes somewhere else. It happens occasionally, but that's exactly what happened here because Deceit, and Jason, we'll let you, recap us here, but 1,000-person battle royale in the horror type environment being made by what is it, Automaton? Mm-hmm. Automaton's no more. They're shutting down, and one of their other projects is going away, Maverick's Proving Grounds, but the free-to-play Deceit game is still gonna see the light of day. This doesn't make any sense.
Well, Deceit's already out. It's been out for a while,
future development.
Well, yeah, future development, right. But talking about Maverick's Proving Ground was going to be a 1,000-person battle royale, and it was going to use the spatial OS technology that we've talked about a lot about. Really sounding kind of cool, offering very persistent kind of worlds, which seems a little odd for maybe a battle royale. Seems like that's better for an MMO-ish type title like Worlds Adrift use that.
And I apologize if my wording there confused. Deceit is not the battle royale. Mavericks was the battle royale.
Yeah, it did sound like you were saying that.
Yeah, as soon as Jason said it back to me, I'm like, that felt weird. Mavericks was the battle royale. It's going away. Deceit's the horror shooter game. That's still a thing.
Yeah,
and it's free to play.
Yeah, it's free to play, and it's still going to stick around because it says the joint administrators, because it's under administration. Automaton Games, that's the British version of bankruptcy. It says the joint administrators are in the process of licensing the Deceit game, so there will be no change in the live operation and provision of this game. Which I guess means they are trying to license it to someone else, have them take it over.
Yeah, that also kind of reads, though, Q, that there's no development right now. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I am a little confused. When you say the joint administrators, that's not them, or
they talked about
if they're in administration,
specific people who are taking it over. Paul Cooper and Paul Appleton were appointed joint administrators of Automaton on July 30th.
Okay.
I mean, that's almost like
entering administration and then join to yeah.
Yeah, that's almost like bankruptcy type wording, right? Like somebody's going to be the executor of things. And it was a insufficient funding thing, and I don't know if they filed for bankruptcy and things like that because it's a UK company. Oh, yeah, it is. Jason has it in the damn article. I didn't read it. Entering administration.
That's why I was confused.
The UK equivalent of declaring bankruptcy. There it is. So it's exactly what somebody executors of the estate. But it doesn't look like you're going to do anything. And why are we bringing this up? The game isn't that big and fine. It's weird that it might be continuing. I'm a little concerned at what this means for Spatial OS, Jason, because there just hasn't been any real good news coming out of that whole project over the last couple of years as we started reporting on it when JagX got involved. And there's just, it really seems to be struggling.
Yeah. And the weird thing, would be interesting if JagX actually took this over, because I actually noted a while back, I actually looked up their addresses, like in Google Maps. Like JagX is here and Automaton is here. They're like a mile apart.
Yeah.
But I actually asked them specifically. They said, no, we are not involved. We are not officially involved with each other. JagX responded with that. But that would make for an interesting choice for them to be the ones to actually take this over at some point. But yeah, like you said, there have been really no good news about Spatial OS. Talk about Worlds Adrift, that shut down, a few weeks ago or a few months ago. And I mean, if JagX is still working on a Spatial OS game, that might be the company to actually maybe do something with this, because they're big enough, they can keep going with that sort of thing. Having these kind of smaller independent or startup companies maybe isn't the right way to go for this.
Yeah. Very weird. We'll keep you posted. Q, let's talk about gambling.
Oh, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about gambling. So, some of you may remember SOS, the battle royale that was, trying to do its thing in the battle royale space. Yeah, it was okay. It was pretty run of the mill. Didn't really work out. Game closed down. That happens. But the site is still active, Q. So, are you telling me if I want to go play SOS right now, there's a place I can do it, even though it's been removed from Steam?
No.
Well,
no,
wait, but the site is up though, so I could just go to the site and play.
The site is sort of up.
All right, what's going on?
It's well, obviously,
he
it's
says
no
very
longer
tongue-in-cheek,
SOS, right? It's no longer the SOS that we're talking about. It's, oh God, what was it called? I can't even remember but it's just basically a site that's like, hey, here's information on how to gamble. But it's, all the same URL and stuff. And I think if I remember looking at it, it did use some of the SOS pictures, didn't it? Like the actual SOS pictures.
It does. It does. I'm gonna show it on the screen here. Jason, are you looking for slots, brother?
Yeah, get your spam filter, or get your ad block ready. Yeah, it looks like SOS. All right, Battle Royale. All right,
look here. Right? Look. Find out what happened to SOS game and how you can play. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Oh, wait, look. I can win $25 in a daily competition. Yeah, not interested. Okay, I want to play SOS. All right, how can I play? Let's click on that. Free online slots? Oh, we are saddened to share that SOS has been permanently shut down. But I can use this website to play free slot games and win $25 per day by simply spending time on the site. Find out more from our competition page here. I'm not clicking that shit.
Yeah, I just, no.
But my God, Jason, what happened here? Like, the site literally says find out how you can play.
Well, I believe that someone bought the domain after they shut it down and is running that sleazy slots thing. It has nothing to do with the creator of the game or the Outpost games.
Yeah, we did reach out to Wright Bagwell via Twitter, who chimed back pretty quickly, thank you, saying, yeah, someone bought the domain after we shut it down and is now running that sleazy slots thing, nothing to do with me or Outposts. So, wow. Could you imagine, like, if Fortnite closed, how many people would want to get that domain?
Oh, man.
Sure
But there would be a fight over that domain, though.
I'm sure there's already fortn1te.com that has who knows what on it.
Yeah, because when I'm typoing Fortnite, I accidentally hit the 1. Yeah, right. That's
no. Your most common misspelling of Fortnite is forgetting the T. And Jason, so when we edit things in the background, typically I'm the one editing them, but I will admit, I am notoriously bad for skimming headlines because I don't care about headlines unless I think a headline is boring, and so I totally rewrite it. That's fine. But if there's just a, hey, DDO's getting this update, and we're going to let it just say DDO's update is coming out July 25th, and that's going to be the headline. It's just a pretty generic small news story, nothing that I can have a little fun with the headline on. I am notoriously bad for skimming the headlines, and Jason has at least on 2 different occasions said there's a T in Fortnite.
2 of them actually.
Yeah.
Well,
it's the first one because it's always Fornite. Fortnite.
But you know what? I just typed
it's my
Fortnite
typing, man.
Who has
My typing has got worse.
Fortnite.com, and it takes you to the actual site, the real Fortnite site.
Oh yeah, it does. Holy hell, they thought of everything.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Q, so I guess it's okay. We'll start calling it Fortnite.
Forknife.com.
No way. No way.
Oh, please let it be.
I guess too. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay.
I got a site not found.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. They didn't think of everything.
Not
Not quite. So yeah, obviously don't go to SOS's site. We were just reporting it because it was really bizarre. We do not condone virtual slot machines or gambling through shady establishments or breaking your local laws, and just stay away from it. It's here because it's news of the
getting viruses on your computer.
Yeah, we're reporting on it because it's news of the bizarre. And speaking of one last bizarre thing before we move on, our friend who just never seems to go away, ever, Sergei Titov. If you see, we just laughed as soon as he said his name. Laughs. If you don't know, Sergei Titov is from World War Z infamy and all of that fun stuff, and a number of projects after that. That his involvement with them was relatively hidden. In fact, I remember, Jason, what was that game? It was Romero.
Romero's Aftermath?
Yeah, wasn't that the one
Yeah.
that like he was slightly involved in? And when I started, they asked me to do an interview and everything. And when I started going down that road, I stopped getting answers. So yeah, so Wild West Online disappeared. Remember? But then came back as the free-to-play game owned by Free Reign. And Titov might have been involved. We didn't know. We couldn't tell. It was just, hey, this is Wild West Online. Oh, now it's called New Frontier. What the hell's going on? Well, they finally clarified their relationship, Jason. But did they really? Because it still seems a little bizarre to me the way they worded this.
Well, as I understand it, I'll read what they said first. After the game had failed, they're talking about Wild West Online, Free Reign took over everything, including the development of the game. The development team behind New Frontier is not the same team that worked on Wild West Online, hence the name change on the game.
Yeah, and Free Reign, by the way, is the company that now owns New Frontier. It was not previously, Wild West Online, they're saying, was not owned by them,
Right.
and it is Free Reign that is fronted by Sergei Titov.
Yeah, and they so I remember seeing interviews and stories with them about Wild West Online over on Massively because it was a paid game back then. So I was following that train wreck for as long as it went. And yes, they had to specifically ask about whether they were working with Sergei Titov, and they said no, we're using an engine that Free Reign developed, but we're not owned by him or overseen by him or anything like that. But now, as you can see, after Wild West Online failed, can't imagine why. It came out as New Frontier, and now that is definitely owned by Free Reign, which is Sergei Titov's company. So make of that what you will.
Here's the thing, Q. I didn't need Sergei Titov's name on this one to tell me to avoid it. I don't know if you feel the same, but that's where I stand.
It's actually one of those things that falls into the area of I've forgotten about it.
All right, let's move on here. We've got Riders of Icarus, a game I actually enjoyed. I didn't stay in it all that long, though, so, take that for what it was. I kind of enjoyed this one for the whole mount and monster, companion catching and stuff like that. But Jason will be not surprised to hear this. Inventory very quickly became an issue that I did not want to deal with because the best way to deal with it was financially to open up slots in your pens and things like that. Anyway, Riders of Icarus, the free-to-play MMO RPG, not going to be part of Nexon's lineup anymore, Q. What happened?
I'm actually not sure what happened, but basically
we'll speculate in a minute.
Right, is that the contract has run out, and so now it's, instead of Nexon picking it back up, it's going to Valov. or however you pronounce that. And they're going to take it over by the end of August. They didn't actually give a solid, like, this date is the date. It's more, hey, we'll fill you in more as we get all the systems and everything set up.
Yeah,
So,
and they're going to have to move quick because they did mention that there is going to be a transfer service type thing that is going to be needed. It's not just... So players will have to do something on this. Valve, if you've heard that name before, they publish Atlantica Online and a few other titles. So getting a new publisher, not having the contract renewed, and to Q's point, they didn't say why. But we also heard another Nexon rumor this week, Jason.
Yeah, Nexon is supposedly going to be merging its PC and mobile businesses, in part because of their lack of a sale earlier this year. And okay.
So possibly a trimming of the portfolio here?
A little bit, trying to save some expenses and so forth, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Possibly as soon as next month, which was actually, we wrote that in July, so like as soon as maybe August. So.
Hey, July 29th, we wrote it. Hey, what else happens at the end of August? Oh, this game's leaving Nexon's library. Doesn't take a genius to figure out that might be exactly what's going on. So if you enjoy Riders of Icarus, great news for you. It's not shutting down. It's just going somewhere else. You're going to have a process that you're going to need to go through later this month as it switches publishers. So that's good news. But what's that mean for other Nexon titles? What Nexon title? Let's pull this up here. Nexon games. Let's see. Is there anything else on Nexon's library that you think might be on the chopping block? I'm going to give you some games here, all right? We'll stick with PC. I don't want to touch their mobile stuff, assuming some of that will probably go away anyway. So, Maple Story. Anybody think it's going anywhere? No. Maple Story 2. No. Oh, God. I totally forgot this is Nexon. Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Oh, God, that thing.
The Legend of Cao Cao Tactics, which just came out a few days ago, which is a remake, a mobile remake of one of the original titles for the 30th year anniversary that was then remade just recently onto the PC, and it is awful. I was going to do a first look on it, but it is Clash of Clans. It is every other build your area, wait for timers, then go and do a turn-based battle thing. There was no point in doing the first look. I don't think it cost them anything. I can't imagine that going anywhere, Q.
No, not right now.
How about Mabinogi? That's one I could maybe see going away.
But you remember a while back when we did that survey thing. We did our little contest thing. The Mabinogi people came out in droves.
They did. Oh, yeah. Their player base is fanatical about the game. But are there enough of them?
Let me see. Go over to check the Steam charts. It's on there. Hold on.
Q, thoughts on Mabinogi while he's looking this up? Or
I
Mabinogi,
have no idea on that one. I didn't even realize that the whole thing he was talking about had happened. So I don't pay enough attention to that one.
What do you got, Jason?
It's been pretty consistent, like around 300 or so. I feel like it's okay. Although Riders of Icarus, I was really surprised to see they averaged still like over 1,000 on Steam.
Yeah.
So they're still like okay.
Yeah.
I guess more closer to 500. I was looking at their peak.
So you're iffy on Mabinogi then?
Yeah, I'm iffy on Mabinogi.
All right. We already know about Riders of Icarus. Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies. I don't think that's going anywhere.
That's still around, apparently.
Rocket Arena.
Oh, that's still coming out. That's still new.
Yeah.
That's the next.
But
I don't think they trash it until it comes out.
All right. Last one we're gonna go through here. How about Vindictus?
That's one that I wonder about.
Really? What's the charts show?
Yeah, let's see. Also, Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies still is the largest one that I've looked at so far.
Oh yeah, not surprised. About
Maple Story game.
300 playing Vindictus through Steam an hour.
Yeah, only about 300. So yeah, it's kind of in the range.
It's in the Mabinogi range.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we could see one or two of those go away too. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Before we slide over to the weekly bomb, Jason, speaking of first look, since we don't have Romance of the Three Kingdoms to talk about, it's garbage. Don't worry about it. And I love Romance of the Three Kingdoms. We are getting a Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I just got a email about that today, so kind of excited about that. Want to see more about it. But don't waste your time, even if you're a Romance fan, with the new one on Steam. It's just a port of a mobile game, which is a stupid port of an older one that they've monetized.
Get Total War Three Kingdoms instead. It's very good.
There you go. Hey, I just got an email about them too. They're getting some type of update.
Yep.
Jason, you had a chance to check out Eden Rising, which was kind of a bizarre title for us to cover because it's got two models. It isn't, there's a free-to-play trial till level 20, and then you do that. There is a fully free-to-play game in there, about 15 hours or so of story content and progression and all that type of stuff. And then it becomes just a loop. You keep doing the same thing. Then there's a buy it version for $25. There is no cash shop, though. So this was kind of a weird one when we decided, should we cover this or not? You know, we don't cover World of Warcraft because that's exclusively a trial, even though it's untimed. We do cover games like Guild Wars, where the expansions, the current expansions, aren't free, but the base game is. Where does this fit? And I think one of the cool factors that made us go, okay, we're going to cover this, is there was a substantial amount of free things you could do. There were limitations. But it was also one of those situations where, and you showed this in your first look, if you spent $25, you and 7 friends got access to all of that. So essentially, if you know somebody that bought it, you could do all of the stuff free to play as long as you're playing with them. This mixed MMORPG elements with tower defense elements, which seems like a weird mashup. How did it pan out?
I actually kind of compared it to Fortnite Save the World, like in the same sort of thing, where you go out, you scavenge up stuff. You're on an alien planet, so it's not like, Earth with, regular houses and whatnot. You're on an alien planet, you have to go and find various things. You can kill some monsters while you're out there. They'll drop stuff. You'll get other stuff from the trees or plants, whatever you harvest. You can craft equipment for yourself, armor, weapons. Then you can also go back to your little base, and you'll be able to craft, like I said, the tower defense kind of stuff. Turrets, mines, all that sort of thing. Then you signify that you're ready for the wave to come. Wave will come, you fight it off, and you rinse and repeat. You travel around the planet. There are 3 different planets you can get with the free version. I think 7 total if you bought the whole thing. And you can go out, you find more stuff. You go to another base. They'll kind of move you along, progress you as you go. And that's it. That's the core gameplay loop. Go out, find stuff, bring it back, craft, take on a siege, do it over and over until you get tired of it or whatever.
Ad nauseum. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
There's progression where you can upgrade your abilities too, and you upgrade your base, various things you can put in there. So,
Q, I don't want to taint any opinion you have after watching the first look video, so we'll get your thoughts first.
I kind of half-assed watched it because the whole repeating thing, so I ended up just doing other crap while watching it, like trolling fan vids and stuff. I mean, it's one of those games that is definitely not fun to watch somebody else play, at least in my opinion. But it could be just fun to log on and do for a little bit and then go do something else. But yeah, it's definitely not going to keep my attention for me to watch somebody else play it.
This one wasn't for me either. And I actually kind of enjoy a well-done tower defense. I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't all that captivated by the world that they had created so far. It seemed limiting as far as, because you had to not only manage resources as far as building things, but then power at the stations you were trying to protect. So it's not even like there was a real benefit to farming up thousands of materials to try and steamroll something, because you were still limited by how many things you could put in any given one tower defense area by the, energy or power or whatever, to power the items you were creating. I don't know. I think it's kind of neat. I wouldn't buy it, and that's kind of where I put the marker on this one. The free-to-play version doesn't have enough interest for me to want to go do it, so would I buy it? The answer is no, so there really is no reason for me to play the free-to-play version, and that's where I think this model kind of gets goofy. Because if you wouldn't buy it, Jason, there really is no reason to play the free-to-play. Unless it's your borderline and you're like, I want to check it out before I buy it, this model doesn't work for me.
And they do let you keep your progress if you buy the paid version. But yeah, the Steam charts page for this is a little bleak.
A little bleak.
Just a little bleak, yeah.
Well, it still is. It's still in testing, though, right? Or is it?
It's
considered early access still, right?
Well, the full game launched like back in May, like a year and a half ago, or
Right.
a year ago. Even if you're in early access or whatever, if you're only getting about 20 people online at a time, you're not doing so great.
True. All right, let's slide over and do the weekly bombs. I'm going to go first because mine kind of fits into the news of the bizarre. I'm going to give an A-bomb to Bandai Namco not having any current plans to bring Blue Protocol to the West. Now, remember, we've talked about Blue Protocol here. We don't know a lot about it. We kind of put it in the... It's probably not going to be free-to-play, but it is Bandai Namco, so we'll report on it right now until we find out otherwise. Kind of like the way we did with Overwatch. Although I think Overwatch, we had a bit more of an expectation that it was going to be free-to-play than this.
And we knew it was coming to the West.
Right, and this is Blue Protocol's being advertised as like a multiplayer RPG. Do we know if that's full-blown MMO or if it's like, little groups and stuff? We don't know. But it looked cool, and it's one that I'm watching, have been watching. Here's where the news of the weird comes in. So the quote of Bandai Namco not having plans to bring it to the Western market doesn't come from Bandai Namco. It comes from the admin on the subreddit for Blue Protocol, who basically just said they received word from Bandai Namco that they don't have plans for a Western release at the moment. Okay, so we reported on this dude, who's the admin, said no plans, no word from Bandai Namco yet. Great. But you would have thought that they would have shot this down by now if it were true, and here's where it gets a little weird. We have comments on our post on this. Somebody called the Arsenal says, admin of the Blue Protocol subreddit, quote, I've just received word from Bandai Namco that they have no plans for a Western release at the moment. However, they also said that this is subject to change, so there is still a chance that Blue Protocol will hit the Western market in the future. So the Arsenal just quoting what the subreddit admin posted. Arsenal goes on and says, also, I work on Blue Protocol for 2 years now. And game is coming in 2020 Q1, and it's not going to be free-to-play. It's going to cost $59.99, and it's going to be open for EU and NA with English subtitles upon release. I don't know who the Arsenal is. I don't know if they are who they claim to be and have the information. All I know is that I've asked, do you have any public source for that? I would love to update this piece if that information is validated somewhere, because I was not able to find it. Also, the same day, somebody under a name Bamdai Geek basically gave the same information. Now, I think the Arsenal and Bamdai Geek are the same person, because it is almost the same information. It's within 3 minutes of each other. Maybe the comment needed moderation through the automated system. They thought it didn't post, and they reposted it in a different way. Assuming they're the same person, I would love some validation on that. Everything sounds right to me. I really was hoping this would be free to play. But I was probably, if you ask me, leaning more towards it wasn't going to be free anyway. Q1 2020 seems about right. If it's a little further along than we've just have information for, okay. NAEU with English subtitles on release totally makes sense. But is that available anywhere? Bandai hasn't come and said it. So it's news of the weird. If it doesn't come to the West, A-bomb. If this is all just rumor and some dude posting on the subreddit, or some dude heard from a friend who works for Bandai, but that's not really what Bandai's thinking because they didn't know, we'll update you. But I do tend to believe that this probably isn't going to be free to play. So A-bomb if it doesn't come, D-bomb if it does. So it's a contingent bomb. Go ahead, Q.
Schrodinger's bomb.
It's Schrodinger's bomb. We won't know until we open the Blue Protocol box. And by then, we've already influenced the experiment. Go ahead, Q.
I'm going to give it the bomb to Neverwinter's changes to their appearance system.
I liked this, actually.
Yeah, I do. Well, because I am one of those people who's very big on painting all my gear and stuff like that, and it is the biggest pain in the ass in pretty much every game ever, where you have to go back and re-get all the dyes every time you get a new piece of equipment. And, it's it's aggravating. So this whole just dying the slot or making the change to the slot, and then whatever you pop in just automatically has the changes, so you're back to being your glorious, fabulous self, is exactly what I want.
All right, kudos to Neverwinter. Jason, we got a contingent bomb, a dub bomb. Where are you?
I'm a full A bomb.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're covering everything really.
Yeah, we got the whole gamut. What is it? What's going on?
I'm giving an A bomb to the weather, because I had plans to go to a baseball game yesterday, Wednesday.
Yeah, you were going to go to D.C. Catch what, a Nationals game?
Yeah, I was going to catch Nationals and Braves. I'm going to go down to D.C. and spend time down there, a few more hours. I'm going to have all day, basically. I was going to play hooky from work. Don't tell my boss. But I was going down there, going to do some touristy stuff, maybe see the Smithsonian or whatever, whatever I feel like doing down there. But Tuesday, all day Tuesday, I'm looking at the weather report. And I'm like, it says going to be thunderstorms starting around like 1 p.m. in D.C. And the game was going to start at noon. So I'm like, what, thunderstorms, rain. Even if I don't go to the game, if I just want to do the touristy stuff, that's going to suck to walk around it. I don't want to deal with any of that. So I finally canceled my plans. I checked through like Tuesday evening at like 10 o'clock. It still said there are going to be storms starting around like 1, maybe a little later. I was like, okay, never mind. Sit here all day yesterday. A few clouds.
Yeah.
That was it. I kept watching the weather report and it said, well, storms are going to start at 4 o'clock. Well, they're going to start at 6 o'clock. Oh, they're going to start at 8 o'clock.
They're going to start Thursday.
No, they're not even going now. It's still Thursday. It's sunny. It's freaking sunny outside. I wanted like 6 inches of rain if I wasn't going to go down there.
He's the angriest dude. Like, I just picture Q that when we're done for the day, Jason just gets in his rocking chair in front of a window and just sits there looking at the people walking by.
Yelling at him to get off his lawn.
I don't know you. Keep walking. From the viewers.
I actually can't rock because it kind of bothers my back. So there we go.
If that didn't
That's
just,
the ultimate old man. I can't have you
yeah, I was gonna say, if that didn't just prove the shit out of my point. From the whoops, that's the wrong button. From the viewers, William Huowin says, so I know I'm quite off subject, but just wanted to say a big thank you to Q for her article about Villagers and Heroes expansion. It was shared on the Discord of the game, and we were all happy about it. So thumbs up to you, Q. There you go. Yeah, we always report on Villagers and Heroes.
Every time they email me.
I mean, say what you will about the game. You either like it or you don't, and that's fine. We're not talking about that. But the developers have always been nice to us. They've always been, hey, we got a press release. Would you mind covering it? And if there's enough news, we go ahead and cover it. We don't care whether the game's one we play or not. If it's free to play and we got news, we'll give it to you. So, Q, some kudos to you from the Villages and Heroes team, or players. Go ahead, Q, or Jason.
Whoever.
Yeah, one of you. Just
Breckner
go.
Catalan says, well, Path of Exile and Warframe are amazing games. That's why they work as free to play. If your game is shit and nobody plays it, it's going to be very difficult to make any money. As for Lost Ark, I kind of think it's not going to be as good as we expect it to be. God, don't tell Zach. He's just like over the moon for that game.
Yeah, he is.
Sure, nice visuals and maybe even combat, but not much character builds diversity.
Speaking of Zach, by the way, no first look on what the hell was that game? The sandbox one that I said I was going to. No. We did Albion. Oh my God, what was it? We just talked about it on the last cast.
Obviously wasn't important.
Right? I asked him, hey, are you going to check this out? Because it was the one we were talking about, Jason, was really grindy, and it didn't make sense to do
Life is Feudal.
Yes. He's like, no, I'm not jumping into that. So, go ahead, Q.
Omega Contagion, to bomb to the popcorn.
There
that popcorn. I forgot about that.
Oh, you forgot. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Old ass holiday.
Popcorn for?
Yeah, that's the old ass holiday perfect world caramel corn.
How much money will you guys give me to eat this?
Oh, that stuff never goes bad. It's caramel corn. It's actually peanut butter cup popcorn. So it's like chocolate and peanut butter. Oh yeah, you're fine. You're
well,
fine.
is the chocolate turning white?
No, it's still brown.
Then it's fine.
Yeah, if it
it's
doesn't,
like 100% fine. If the chocolate's not turning white, it's fine.
Yeah, if it doesn't look like bird poop yet, you're good. Pro tip on popcorn eating from the free-to-play cast.
Chocolate.
Yes. Michael Coffey says, love the show. Have enjoyed the host since the long, sadly failed Game Breaker TV. Thank you. Good to see some of you still with us. But when it's all said and done, free-to-play games will go down as one of the 3 worst things in video game history. As for every 1 done right, there are 50 to 100 done wrong. The UK ruling was saddening but predictable, as 99% of politicians have no idea of online, the internet, or video games. Michael, here's what I'd like to do. Thank you for following us. We love you too, and we miss Game Breaker as well. We often talk about things we've done on Game Breaker. I want to know the other 2. I want to know the other 2 worst things in video game history. I disagree with you, by the way. I got to say that free-to-play games will go down as one of the 3 worst things. I do agree that for every 1, there's 50 or 100 bad ones. That's the same in the mobile market. And honestly, I think you could probably say that about the not free-to-play genre, too. For every 1 or 2 that are really, really, really good, you've got 30, 40, 50 that are really bad. So we may disagree there, but I get your overall point. I want to know what your other 2 are, though. So throw them in the comments, and let's read them next week. Speaking of that, question of the week last time was, what games or trends do you think we'll be talking about during the next 5 years? Only one reply, because none of you care about the next 5 years.
Not nearly as creative as we were. We went on and straight for like 5 minutes talking about
We
this
did.
stuff.
We had all kinds of creative ones, but apparently the viewers just don't care. They want it now. B Short says, we'll be talking about the next big psychologically manipulative money grab method publishers come up with. You're probably right. Many are maybe putting a dunce cap on you if you've never spent money in the cash shop, or being constantly spammed with TV-style advertisements and having to pay to go ad-free for the day. Got to get that guaranteed income somehow. More and more mobile-style monetization in free-to-play and AAA gaming, just as the trend is now. What? You want to go do a dungeon? No cutscene. Just a Geico commercial reminding you to save 15% or more on your car insurance. Plus, get a 15% off voucher for the cash shop. It's so easy, even your grandmother can do it. No offense to any tech-savvy great gamer grandmothers out there. Be short, that made my day. That really, really made my day. You're probably right. Question of the week this week. And I asked this for a reason, because as we're doing free-to-play cast, I noticed that we just put up an Astelia closed online, or closed beta 2 giveaway on the site, which I'm going to have to message the site owner about, because Astelia Online is not a free-to-play game. And it is not even planned to be free-to-play at this time. However, I did take part in a closed beta for the game, the closed beta 1, and I will say this. It is very nostalgic. It is very, very old school MMORPG in the way of like a World of Warcraft, early Rift, that type of stuff. So if you're jonesing for that, it may scratch the itch. During beta, there were some tech things that kind of turned me off, even though I was down with the nostalgia. But it's also not going to be free to play. So that brings me to my question of the week. When do you think Astelia Online is going to be free to play? Because I don't think there's any way this game lasts a year as a buy-to-play title. I think it does the bless online. So get your predictions in now. First, will Astelia go free-to-play? Why or why not? And if you say it will, how long until it does? Put your answers in the comments below. If you've played the game, let us know your thoughts down below as well. I'd love to see if my opinion is in line with yours. Until next week, where can everybody find you, Q?
Hanging out on Twitter at Quinlan.
Jason?
On Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there at magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb so we can give you all the latest news, tweets, videos, free-to-play cast first looks, and more. Leave your questions of the week answers down below with your weekly bombs or your question for the panel, and we'll cover it next week. Until then, gang, stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.